What if a simple visit home could awaken deadly shadows from the past? In today's gripping episode, Diem and CEO Toan return to visit Diem's lonely foster mother, the woman who once saved her life. Their heartfelt reunion is soon clouded by a terrifying revelation. Strangers have been lurking, asking about Diem, and they might be Mafia. As danger looms closer, Diem and Toan must protect the woman who gave Diem a second chance at life. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more emotional stories of love, family, and the fight for survival. On a cool autumn afternoon, Diem sat quietly beside CEO Toan as the car steadily rolled down the narrow countryside road. The scenery outside was peaceful. Endless rice fields swayed in the gentle breeze, and the distant hills glowed under the soft golden light. Yet, inside Diem's heart was a storm of emotions. She hadn't seen her foster mother for years. Every memory of that humble little house, the warm smiles, the comforting presence of the old woman who had saved her in her darkest days, all flooded back as the distance shortened. Beside her, Toan noticed her fidgeting hands and squeezed them gently, offering silent support. As the car finally came to a stop in front of a modest wooden gate, Diem's heart was pounding like a drum. The old house stood there, weathered yet familiar, wrapped in the scent of nostalgia. She hesitated for a moment, her steps heavy with both excitement and guilt. She had promised to return sooner, yet life and chaos had kept her away for too long. Just as she lifted her hand to knock, the creaky door opened slowly. There she was, her foster mother, older, thinner, but her eyes still carried the same warmth Diem remembered. The moment their eyes met, time seemed to freeze. The old woman stared at Diem in disbelief, her lips quivering as if afraid it was all just a dream. And then, tears burst forth as she stepped forward and pulled Diem into a trembling embrace. "My child, my dear child, is it really you?" Her voice broke amidst her sobs. "I thought I would never see you again." Diem felt a sharp ache in her chest. She held her foster mother tightly, her own tears falling freely. "I'm so sorry, Mom. I should have come back sooner. Life got so complicated, but I missed you every single day," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. CEO Toan stood silently nearby, witnessing the poignant reunion. He had heard Diem speak of this woman before, but seeing the raw affection between them stirred something deep within him. Quietly, he approached and bowed slightly. "Hello, Mom. I'm Toan, Diem's husband," he said softly, introducing himself with respect. The old woman wiped her tears, her gaze shifting to Toan. A faint smile broke through her wrinkled face. "So you found someone who loves you, Diem. I'm happy for you." She reached out and gently patted Toan's hand. "Thank you for bringing her back to me." Toan smiled warmly. "It's my honor, Mom. I've heard a lot about you. Diem always says you saved her life." The woman chuckled weakly, her eyes still shimmering with tears. "I only did what any mother would do, but I've been so lonely, child. Since the day you left, I sit by that window every evening, hoping to see your shadow return. I feared I might leave this world before I could see your face again. Diem felt a lump in her throat. She gently took her foster mother's hand. I'm here now, Mom. And I promise, I won't let so much time pass before I visit you again. Together, the three of them stepped inside the little house. Though time had worn its walls and furniture, the warmth inside remained untainted. The air was thick with unspoken love, gratitude, and the quiet understanding that some bonds, no matter how long or far apart, can never be broken. The small house was just as Diem remembered it, simple, a little worn, but filled with a homely warmth that no luxury mansion could replicate. The wooden furniture, though aged, was polished clean, and the familiar scent of herbs and dried flowers still lingered faintly in the air. Diem helped her foster mother set the table, while Toan politely offered his assistance, though the old woman chuckled and insisted he sit and rest like a guest. Soon, a modest meal was laid out, just a few simple dishes, stir-fried vegetables from the garden, some pickled eggplants, and a fragrant pot of rice. Yet as they gathered around the table, the atmosphere was richer than any lavish feast. The old woman watched Diem eat, her eyes glistening with joy and disbelief, as if still afraid her beloved child might disappear again like a dream. My child, you've grown so beautiful and mature, the woman said, her voice soft and tender. Back then, when you first came to me, you were thin, pale, and your eyes held so much sadness. But now, look at you, strong, graceful, and loved. Her gaze shifted to Toan, her expression full of gratitude. Diem smiled, glancing at Toan, who was quietly eating but keeping a close ear to the conversation. She reached for her foster mother's hand, squeezing it gently. All that is thanks to you, Mom. If you hadn't saved me, if you hadn't given me shelter and warmth when I had nothing, I wouldn't have made it this far. You gave me a second life. The old woman chuckled softly, though her eyes moistened again. All I ever wanted was for you to have a family, to be happy and safe. I had no one, and when you called me Mom, that was the happiest day of my life. Her voice quivered with emotion. You know, after you left, I tried to be strong. I tell myself that as long as you were alive and free, I should be content. But the house became too quiet, the nights too long. I'd sit by the window, watching the stars, wishing you'd one day walk through that gate again. Diem's heart ached hearing those words. She knew her own struggles, but she had never imagined the depth of her foster mother's loneliness. She bowed her head. I'm sorry for making you wait so long, Mom. I should have written, should have come back sooner. I was just afraid that if I came back, I might bring danger to you. At that, the old woman reached out and touched Diem's cheek lovingly. You silly child, a mother only worries when she hears nothing from her child. Even if the world is dangerous, I'd rather see you and face it together than live in the dark, wondering if you're even alive. Toan, who had remained silent, suddenly spoke up, his voice low but firm. Mom, I promise you, I will protect Diem. She won't have to run or hide anymore. From now on, she has me, and I'll make sure she stays safe and happy." The old woman smiled, her eyes softening. "Thank you, Toan. It means everything to me to hear that." She took a shaky breath, then added, "I don't want to be a burden, but knowing you both will visit, knowing I still have family, that's more than I ever dreamed of." Diem stood and wrapped her arms around her foster mother from behind, resting her chin on her shoulder. "You're not a burden, Mom. You're my family. Toan and I will visit more often, and we'll bring joy back to this house." The promise hung warmly in the air, like a soft blanket over old wounds. As night fell and the stars began to glow faintly outside the window, the three of them remained at the table, sharing stories, laughter, and memories, as if trying to make up for all the lost time between them. As the evening deepened, the old wooden house grew quieter, save for the occasional creak of the timber walls and the gentle hum of crickets outside. The oil lamp flickered softly on the table, casting warm, golden light over the three faces gathered close together. Diem was resting her head lightly on her foster mother's shoulder, her heart content for the first time in so long. Toan sat beside them, listening to their stories with a quiet smile. But then, the old woman's expression darkened slightly. She sighed deeply, her hands fidgeting with the hem of her faded blouse. "There's something I must tell you, my child," she said, her voice lowered as if the walls themselves might be listening. Diem lifted her head, immediately sensing the shift in her mother's tone. "What is it, Mom?" Diem asked gently. The old woman glanced at Toan, then back to Diem, her eyes filled with worry. "Lately, I've noticed strangers hanging around the village. Men I've never seen before. They ask questions, discreetly, but people talk. They keep asking about a girl who used to stay with me. About you." She paused, her voice trembling. "At first, I thought I was imagining things. But then, I overheard one of them say your name, Diem. They're looking for you." Diem's body stiffened, and Toan immediately sat up straighter, his expression turning serious. "Did they threaten you?" Toan asked calmly but with an underlying tension in his voice. The old woman shook her head. "No. Not directly. But their presence is heavy. Unnatural. They don't act like ordinary travelers. There's something dark about them. I've heard whispers from some of the villagers that they might be connected to the Mafia, or some criminal group. I don't know for sure, but one of them mentioned that I was the old woman who had once hidden a girl on the run." She gripped Diem's hand tightly. "I'm afraid, child. I think they're watching me because they suspect I helped you. And if they find you're back here, I don't know what they might do." Diem's throat went dry. She exchanged a heavy glance with Toan, whose face was now clouded with concern. She had always known that shadows of her past would eventually catch up, but she had hoped that this quiet village, this peaceful home, would be untouched. Now, that hope was crumbling. "I'm so sorry, Mom," Diem whispered, her voice tight with guilt. "I never wanted to bring trouble to your doorstep. Maybe we shouldn't have come." But her foster mother shook her head firmly, her grip tightening. "Don't say that. I would rather face danger knowing my child is alive than live in ignorance. But you must be careful. If they are truly dangerous, you and Toan need to stay vigilant. I don't want anything to happen to you too, or to me, but more than that, I want you to be safe." Toan placed his hand over both of theirs, his voice steady. "Thank you for telling us, Mom. We'll make sure you're protected. I'll have someone watch over this place discreetly. And as for those men, I'll find out who they are and what they want." The old woman looked relieved but still deeply worried. "I trust you, Toan. But please, don't underestimate them. If they truly belong to the Mafia, they're not just after you, Diem. They might want to use me to get to you." Diem swallowed hard, her heart aching with a tangled mix of fear and resolve. She looked at her foster mother with gratitude and sorrow. "I won't let them hurt you, Mom. I promise. We'll figure this out together." The old woman smiled faintly, brushing Diem's hair from her face. "That's all I need to hear, child." Outside, the night deepened, the stars scattered like distant promises. But inside the little house, a new resolve was born, a silent vow that no matter the danger lurking beyond the gate, they would stand together, family bound not by blood, but by love, loyalty, and the courage to protect one another.
Hello, xin chào tất cả mọi người. Vậy là tập phim ngày hôm nay của Kami Dream đã review đã kết thúc tại đây. Ngày hôm nay là một ngày rất đặc biệt, toàn là những thông tin về trong phim.